Uh, am I audible and I suppose I'm visible as well?
Yes, yes, sir.
The video, I would say, brought some sort of emotion in me. At the same time, it has made me feel as if I'm a star. I am one of those, a very ordinary guy, but circumstances perhaps made DTM Nagaraj Rao, the past international director, Toastmaster International, and our own club member, come up with this idea of producing a video. And a lot of tremendous effort has gone in collecting opinions of different people all over the world, I would say. And that has brought immense joy to me at this moment, not just making me feel like a star. I would like to place on record my gratitude to DTM Nagaraj Rao for this wonderful effort, I would say. And my gratefulness I would like to place on record to Professor Padma Shri, Professor G. Venkata Subbaya, the 107-year-old Kannada English, Kannada lexicographer, author of many dictionaries. I would like to place it on record. This 107-year-old person, it's not, I feel blessed because from hearing him speak about me. Then I had some of the distinguished Toastmasters, distinguishing true sense of the word. I have seen this past director, distinguished Toastmaster T.K. Ramesh here, the first DTM of India, Ramlal here. I see many district officers of the past, like District Director Bosco Abraham, Pavas Chandra. I'm scared that I miss the names. I do have the current ones, the district directors, the CGD Savita Salyan, and Program Quality Director PQD, Vanita Rangarajan Jha. I have many colleagues and mentees here, and I would say they have spoken so well. And my own children have spoken. I didn't know that they can be so eloquent in their speech, but it is really a pleasure to listening to them. The best part I feel at this point of time, so many people spoke so well about me. My wife speaking about me, she is the backbone of my life. And Suchita made a really good impression, I would say, speaking it to the audience, and I felt good about it. And for all these things, again, I would like to say big thank you to DTM Nagaraj Rao for that wonderful gesture of producing this video, and the technical people behind being DTM Sugandhi and her husband. The team has produced very well. I would like to again thank them for the video. I said initially that the video makes me feel like a star, makes me. But my life has not been led that way at all. I go by a different dictum, I would say. Dictum which goes like this: if you can't be a star in the sky, it's okay. You can be a lamp at home. It's very simple, and it stood by me for life, because everybody cannot be the topmost person. You should have some element of reasoning by which you have some kind of you can fall back, a security net for yourself. Having said that, let me move to the next one. Our club has a long history. 22 years is long. Our current president, Amok, perhaps was a baby in his mother's arm when the club started. And today he speaks so well. And that is that's what Toastmaster can make a man from such persons. They join, they make something. In the process, they become themselves, reach their potential. But the club was not that easy to start. Let me put it that way. There was one, UK Sharma, he's no more. He is the founder of the club. And at that time, Mekon, when it was about to start, that was the only corporate club in India. Only corporate club in India. And it took a lot of effort for UK Sharma to convince Mekon management to start this club. Once it started, the implementation portion was taken over by his right-hand man, who is still a member, that is M.U. Bhatt. And M.U. Bhatt and me are the two people who are remaining as members, or continue to be the members of this club since those first meeting. And he is a man, has his own self-deprecating humor. He says that we are the fossils of the club. When I told this to our review, in one of the conversations immediately after a meeting to our club officers, Shweta VP PR present there, she said, "Sir, you two are not fossils. You are the fossil fuel of the club." Oh, she turned it around. I thought at this juncture that many such incidents, anecdotes I would like to share in this context. When I was the president, when it all started, our club has one unique culture. The president has to give speech week after week on a topic that is given by the Toastmaster or the MC of the meeting, and that normally comes previous day. In the last minute, it is decided. And this particular agenda was kept in place, and it was really, in initial 1 year, it was as President UK Sharma carried on week after week. Then the subsequent year, it was done by M.U. Bhatt. He continuously gave speech week after week. And then came my turn. The real scary part was that at that time, I was one of the earliest persons to what they call have the certification of Toastmasters in our club. And that was CTM. In those days, it's called Competent Toastmasters. I had the certificate. I was one of the earliest to complete that process. And I had some kind of a rapport with the members of our club. When I became president, I started giving speeches, all right. But the project speeches, the 5 to 7 minutes speeches, dried up. Then I started going to the individuals. All were my colleagues, some seniors, some juniors, some at my own level. I went around asking for speeches, and I found that each person had his own problem why he was not giving the speech. It could be technical reason, it could be some other reason. I started resolving or solving their problem one by one. Some had how to overcome the focus for 7 minutes. 2.5 minutes table topic would be all right. So there are many, each one had his own unique problem. So I went on solving those problems, and the speeches started coming. That's how my mentoring journey started, I would say. And at this juncture, I would like to bring in what Infosys founder Narayan Murthy had to say on this. He says, performance leads to recognition. Recognition leads to respect, and respect leads to power. First three I experienced, but where is the power in Toastmasters? This is some question that I could not really understand. But later on, I realized it is some sort of a moral authority you derive when you start performing. And it is about influencing others, and influencing others without even any authority. This is what I learned in this process. And by 2002, immediately after my president role for this club, our Mekon decided to open the club to the community around it. And the first of the persons to join our club is Nagaraj Rao, who went on to become a DTM, and he went on to become from club officer. Finally, he became one of the directors of Toastmasters International. It's one of the prestigious places to reach and be there. He has touched the summit, I would say, in Toastmasters. And I was lucky enough to be put as mentor to him. And in one of those marathon mentor-mentee meeting that we used to have, he had an anecdote which has some sort of stood by me, and it keeps coming back into mind. I repeatedly quote that, even to the extent of being bored, but I would like to repeat that. He said that there was one great American mountain climber, Low Whitaker. He had led a team of all USA teams, say, on to the top of Mount Everest. It was an expedition in 1984, and it was a very successful one. They have come down, and he was being interviewed by the press, and one of the interviewers asked him that in the last minute you had to change, and the designated person was somewhat unfit perhaps. He would not be going to the top. That was a decision you took, and you took maybe a second rung person to go up to the top. By doing this, you had almost jeopardized the expedition. Why you didn't go yourself onto the top? For that, Whitaker classic response was, my job is to put others on top. That, ladies and gentlemen, is essence of leadership, putting others on top. But this doesn't explain the wherewithal or how to go about doing it. Let's say there is no tool. What is the kind of tool to put people on top? It was not clear till such time when the education session today was given by Dr. Vijayashree. In one of her table topic responses years ago, she said, if a person goes through a lift, goes up through a lift to the top of a building, he or she should ensure to close the gate so that it goes down to bring the next person up to the same level. Well, it's metaphorical, but it is important to realize that a tool is needed. It could be a lift, or it could be a ladder, or for some, it could be a staircase. But each person has to have, somehow we have to figure out what is the best tool for him. This is an important lesson I learned along the way. All this I'm telling is just on hindsight, connecting the dots, you can say. Subsequently, a few years ago, one engineer from Infosys Toastmaster, Karan, I remember him, he was interviewing me and he asked me a question. Sir, I have always seen you as a chief judge in many of the contests. Didn't you ever contest a speech contest yourself? Then I said, no, when the Toastmasters speech contest came into vogue, seeing my age, the moment the date was fixed for a contest, the VPE of the club would come to me and say that, sir, you are the chief judge, please find out the other judges from other club. That was my responsibility. And when I called upon other persons from the judges were always in short supply, and I used to make there used to be a beeline kind of thing in front of them, please come to our club to membership for judging. So I used to gather them, and the person, you see the winner of a speech contest can be there in front of me. I would be the one who would be giving the certificates, the mementos, a lot of stuff. So the winners would come to me, receive the certificate, the memento, and they walk past me. But the highest visibility used to be for the chief judge. And you see here, there is a flip side, or the flip side is the brighter one. What used to happen is when, after the distribution of the prizes, awards, when I used to come down the dash, there would be a network, a lot of interaction, networking, and the judges would invite me to their club for as chief judge. And there, again, networking, lot of mobile number exchanges. And that's when people said that, okay, they asked questions about Toastmasters, the speech making, speech design. I would answer. They thought, okay, this is the guy we should get hold of for an education session in their club. And they would fix an education session and I would deliver one. And again, the exchange of numbers, more mentees for me. And that's how I started. The visibility provided me the exposure, and then the more I circulated, the more I got into this process of mentoring. If you look at it this way, all these things I'm putting as a story through the anecdotes that I've had, I just narrated. It's all in hindsight. It is not by design, it was by default. All I did in sum total, I would say mentoring as a service. And service in Toastmaster is one of the key values. The other values that we should remember, I always keep telling myself, is acronym. And Dr. Vijayashree said that I'm fond of acronyms. It is RISE. It can be in one acronym word like RISE. It's respect for the individual, integrity meaning what I speak, what I do, what I think should be matching and it should be same. And service to the member who walks into the club with the hope that by being with this club, he will be getting the mentorship in such a way that his confidence will soar to the extent that he can express his ideas and thoughts in front of others. Then E is dedication to excellence. If you look at it that way, the three others is just three other elements I talked about are a kind of subservient to the one word service. And the mentoring is the one which paved way for me to be of help to others. And I consider that I was extremely lucky to have a series me think and reorient all the time. One of such person, many such persons are there. The prime one is already there. The DTM Nagaraj Rao, MU Bhatt mentioned about me. And the latest one is that one who received DTM plaque just yesterday, DTM Amitabh Saharai. Each person, from each of these persons, I have learned as much as they think that I have given. That is the mutually supportive ambience, I would say, at its best. All this, I said, it's happened, not that I wanted to make it happen, but it's just exposure, circulation, all the time brought me all this feeling of goodness for having served the members. This is not to praise myself. It is to say, put the matter in the proper order and to express myself in the process. And if I can impart some meaning into everybody's life in this way. The being part of Toastmaster, that too in the process of serving others, has given me immense joy, satisfaction, and a sense of fulfillment in my life. The importance of service I mentioned, but it has been there since thousands of years. It is not 1 or 2 days. I would like to recite a Niti Shataka, a stanza from Niti Shataka, Bhatrarit Niti Shataka. I'll translate it as I recite and go along. It says like this: Parivartini samsare mrutah kova najayate. In this ever-changing world, many people come and many people go. Then who is remembered most? Parivartini samsare mrutah kova najayate sajato yena jatena yati vamshas samunnati. It is said the person who is going to be most remembered is that person because of whose service and action the individuals get uplifted and the entire society get uplifted in the process. Toastmasters, it has been an immense joy being part of the Toastmaster movement. It is something that I will cherish for a long time, that I received words of praise from Toastmaster International Deepak Menon and CEO of Toastmaster International, Daniel Rex, and many others present here whom I admire, and in turn I see that they admire me. It's something, it looks like it's a mutual admiration society, I would say. So if it is so be it is one of the best things to have happened in my life and in perhaps in my entire life, I would say. On this note, all I can say is I'm touched, and my heartfelt gratitude once again to all the Toastmasters of the district, and districts are plural because there are from District 82, it became so many districts, and Toastmasters fraternity in general, Toastmaster entity, Toastmaster International, for all the things that they have given me in my life. So much affection, and it's very difficult to express. And all I can say, I've been somewhat repetitious, so please, it doesn't matter. But 22 years is a long time, and we have had many Toastmasters who have gained in confidence, become different, gone to different parts of the world. Perhaps their ideas are being heard elsewhere and implemented. And whenever I get a feedback from them, there is no better joy than hearing from them. Satisfaction, fulfillment are the words. And all I can say is that thank you, Toastmasters, once again. Over to Nagaraj.